Welcome to today's SeafoodNews.com video, sponsored by the Alaska Seafood Marketing Institute.
Good morning. It's Thursday, March 28th. We have some interesting ripple effects from a crackdown in China on the U.S. seafood market. As most of you know, the Chinese have begun a campaign in the government to kind of reduce the conspicuous consumption of party officials at lavish banquets and so forth. And this has actually had a real effect. Restaurant reservations among high-end restaurants in China are down about 60%. And it's making the importers in Shanghai and elsewhere grow more cautious about their ability to buy high-end seafood products like Dungeness crab and live lobster from the U.S. and Canada. Over the last couple of years, this live seafood trade to China has kind of exploded and has grown to be a real factor in the pricing of a range of products. In Dungeness crab, for example, the share of the live market, we think, has probably increased to 35 to 45% of the landings compared to maybe 20% a few years ago. And much of this is driven by the export trade. Now, we have some good confirmation of this. John Roy from Bornstein Seafoods is talking about how his Chinese buyers have gotten more cautious, and as a result, he's going to be trying to push more Dungeness crab to markets in the U.S. In regards to lobster, yesterday we did a story on sort of the record lobster price levels right now. The fact is that the inventories are not that different than they have been in the years past. They're not at their lowest level, and they're certainly higher than they were in 2007 at this time, when there was a real spike, a similar spike in lobster prices to $10. What's happened instead is that there's been kind of the series of storms in the Northeast has really slowed the trickle of slowed landings in Canada to a trickle. So there's been very few lobsters coming in to replenish stuff that's being held in the pounds. And that's what's led to the price spike. However, the outlook this spring is obviously there's a strong lobster market, but the Chinese market may not be as strong for the very same reasons we talked about with Dungeness crab. Last year in PEI, there was a big rush to freeze lobster for a China whole cook market, and not all of that materialized, and there's still whole cooks and popsicles in inventory, according to some reports. So it's important to keep an eye on these kind of strange developments in other parts of the world that can sort of bounce back and affect seafood prices here. That's one of the things that I find so fascinating about the industry. In Lexington, Mass., this is John Sackton.
Today's SeafoodNews.com video was brought to you by the Alaska Seafood Marketing Institute. Alaska has been protecting wild and sustainable seafood for generations and adheres to the most recognized and internationally accepted set of guidelines written by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. For recipes and additional information, visit wildalaskaflavor.com.